And welcome back. I bet you thought that this was Lost Boys Cyber Circle, didn't you? By that little intro there. And yeah, no. Welcome back to Deep Cuts. This is episode 8 of Deep Cuts, featuring my man Kage C here. We're gonna get to know Kage C a little better. All you guys probably know him from every past episode of Lost Boys ever. But he is yet to do a Deep Cuts. Surprising, that's crazy, dude, because like you're literally the most reoccurring guest and you've yet to do a deep cut. So thanks for being here. Welcome back, or welcome back. Welcome back to the circle. Welcome to the deep cut of the circle.
There you go. Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. Time's been hard though. That's the only reason, really, is because time.
Yeah, I feel you. That's I'll tell you, that's honestly like the reason. Like, there's so many artists that I've been trying to connect with and like do a deep cuts with. Like almost every artist that comes on the show hits me up and like wants to do a deep cuts, but it's always like the scheduling, the timing, that shit, that kind of shit. But yeah, man. Well, thank you for taking the time out to like, do this with me. I know that some people might be a little upset. We didn't have a show this week. We didn't have a live show this week. So this episode will be coming out in like a day or two. We're recording this on the Sunday after Saturday. First of all, guys, I do apologize for the short hiatus. We're just taking a short break this week. But we got a deep cuts for you with my man Kage, and hopefully it'll hold you over to the next show. So how you been, man?
I've been okay. I've been okay. Also, in case you didn't notice, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt for the first time ever.
Yo, that is a first on the fucking circle for you. You always be coming on here just like you're like Bert. You ever seen that comedian Bert Kreischer?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude. Bert Kreischer just gets on stage, and the second he gets on stage, just fucking, and he's a big dude. Like the guy looks like a fucking bear. Like, and that's not even like fat shaming. Like he embraces it completely. Like he is like 100%.
He is called the machine.
He is the machine. The machine. Yo, that is probably one of the best, like, not only just like comedy stories, but like the way he wrote that story was just fucking like so fucking perfect. Probably one of the best fucking comedy bits ever. It's like just the timing of the story, like, and how like, and it is a true story. He fabricates, like, not fabricates, but like exaggerates parts of it, and just at the exact right moments. The machine is the shit. Yo.
He makes me laugh so hard. Because I haven't really like just sat and watched one of his shows, but like I watch clips like on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and every time one comes up, dude, it's so fucking funny. He gives me belly laughs. You know what I mean? Like he really be.
Have you heard the story of like why he's called the machine though?
No, not at all. I haven't.
Oh my god, no, that's his best.
Is it the Russia story? Hold on, is it the Russia story?
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah, okay.
You are the machine. Yeah, him. He goes to Russia on a field trip, and him and his fucking classmates rob a train, and then with the Russian. No, actually, no. It was him and the Russian mafia robbed the train, robbed his classmates. And then I'm not even gonna do the story justice. You just got to go check it out. It's hilarious. It's on his special, The Machine. It's probably, I believe he tells it like right at the end, like it's the big closer. So if you don't want to watch like the whole special, you can just go and like on Netflix and rewind to the end. But anyway, enough plugging random comedians.
Happened.
um, let's get into you, man. So, some of you might know my man Kage. Some of you may not. I'm like 99% sure they're gonna know most. I'm like 99% sure 99% of them are gonna know you already. But what I really wanted, like what I was telling you before we got, we hit record, what I was really interested in for a deep cuts with you is we've seen your progression and your growth, but we haven't seen a lot of the foundations of where it all came from. The man behind the madness, so I do have some questions written down that just sort of like some of the first things that kind of popped in my head. So I guess I'll start with a simple one. What I guess this is kind of a two-part question. All right, so the first part of the question is what initially drew you to rap or to hip hop? At what age and what initially drew you to it, or what artist? And the second part of the question, I guess, is there was it kind of a collection of moments, or is there one specific moment you remember that was like, oh man, like that's what I want to do, or like that's like that's the like music I connect with, and that's what I want to. Were the moments? I guess I'm not asking this very well. So I guess just the first part of the question, what initially drew you to hip hop, and then if you have a singular memory that sticks out to you, if you want to tell that story, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Come here, little titties, on my lap. Guess who's back with a brand new? Yeah, dude, I was real young, and I was like, me and my dad, we were out living in Brazil, in Indiana, okay? And I was literally, the only time in my life I would go outside is to dance to that song by Eminem, okay? So that initially drew me into, like, I don't know. That's not really what drew me into it, but I remember doing that specifically, and like it just was fun to like be singing along with Eminem, just outside dancing, doing my thing. I was real young. I don't remember how old I was though. It was like, golly, I might have been 8 or 7, but I was beating people up in my head in my yard, like kind of like doing like cool kicks and shit like that. I guess Eminem is where it started. I didn't really listen to him. Like I didn't really listen to music. I listened to a lot of Nickelback actually. I listened to a lot of rock. I was listening to country like Johnny Cash, stuff like that. And Eminem was that outcast. I couldn't listen to Eminem. I was not allowed to listen to him. So that mindset of I can't hear this drew me into the I want to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I started singing
Always does.
along. I started singing along to Eminem, just all of the songs. And my dad caught me one day, okay, and he really was mad about it. He was really mad about it, but he kind of like, in a way, he was kind of cool about it because after I got caught singing it, he already knew I was listening to Eminem, and he couldn't do nothing about it. So he started playing Eminem in the car. And I guess one good memory I have of my father, there isn't a whole lot of them, but we would sit there and we would bop to Eminem, and we'd both be like spitting the bars. And that really is what got me into wanting to like, well, not wanting to rap because that didn't come until way later, or wanting to write or anything of the sort. Actually, just that's whenever I started getting into hip hop and discovering that avenue.
And I guess that's kind of where I was going with the question was, you know, there that was what was the moment? I guess there's the third part of the question, because second part of the question was, is there a moment that you remember getting into hip hop? But then when was it that you realized that this is what I want to do? It turned from being like a fan to being a creator. When did you make that shift? What age was that, and how did that come about?
Um, oh fuck. So what was it? Sixth grade. Sixth grade. I wrote. There was this guy. He got held back like 4 times. He should have been in high school. You know what I'm saying? But he was in 8th grade. All right, and had a beard, and it blew my mind. But he was like older, right? So when I was in 6th grade, I think I might have been
I was
13.
that kid. I was that kid. I was
I
that
might
kid.
have been like 13 or something. I don't know. 6th grade, whenever that was. And he was writing music. He was like actually, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool because I was really bad at English at the time. I found it boring, uninteresting. I know how to speak type shit, you know what I mean? And I knew
Mhm.
how to read, so it never really struck me as some creative outlet. I didn't see the point of it. I didn't see the point of English. But he showed me this song, and don't ask me why a 16, 17-year-old was hanging out with a 13-year-old outside of his house, but that's what we were doing. All right. And he started spitting these bars. Okay. And I'm like, dang, by this time I've done heard fucking Tupac, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Eminem. Like I'm fucking rocking it. I'm rocking it. And so he's spitting bars and he reminded me of somebody. I don't remember who it is now. Right. But it was somebody I heard. And I was like, man, this is a really cool. And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna get up there and you'll see me later. I haven't seen him by the way, but I'll see you like at the top type shit, right? And uh I was like, that could be fun. And so I sat down and I started writing. And it started
Yo,
off as poetry.
that was such a low key diss though. I haven't seen him by the way. Yo,
I mean, look,
that was such a low key like shade throw.
you,
You just threw just a little bit of shade. Just I by the way, I ain't seen him. I ain't
listen,
seen
I
him.
ain't seen him on the podcast. I ain't seen him making
Well, get him
moves.
on here, man. What the fuck you get him on here? Yo, you know what I
I
was
don't know
just
where
thinking?
he's at.
I was just thinking, yo, fucking, and I don't know why this made me think of that, but uh I knew somebody growing up who like really always kind of wanted their 15 minutes of fame, and they always said that like if they um committed to be big S, they unalive themselves. I'm trying to be better for YouTube because YouTube keeps like flagging me and shit. But if they ever did that, it was gonna be in some like big spectacular way, and they were gonna get their 15 minutes of fame. Well, um they did that in 2014, and it's a 2-minute news clip that probably had the weather right after it or some shit like that. Didn't even get his 15 minutes. He only got 2. More people have seen my show than I mean in one night than have seen the news clip of what he did. So no, but that was just something that like occurred to me the other day. It was like I always used to see people like you always see me at the top, and I ain't seen them yet either. I ain't seen them yet. That's why I always try not to like. I try not to. I don't know. I try to set goals and try to like. You know what I mean? But I try not to be that kid who's always like, oh, I'm gonna be fucking driving a Lamborghini one day. You know what I mean? Like you got to kind of have that mindset, but at the same time, like kind of keep it to yourself. Don't be a douchebag about it.
No, exactly right, and that's kind of where it derived. That sole purpose of why I did all that is because I low key hated this dude because he said he was going to be better than me. Okay, and I didn't fuck with that as a kid. I didn't fuck with that. You can't be better than me. I'm only 13. You can't do that yet. You don't know me. Hey, like that was my mindset. Okay, and that's where I'm going to be rich one day rather than I'm going to be up there one day. I'm going to be rich one day. I don't care how I do it. But that's where that derived from. And that mindset derived into I got to be better than that guy. And because I got to be better than that guy, now I got to rap. Because I got to be better than this dude, now I got to figure out my shit. Like, there's like more history between me and him like that, but none that I can specifically remember.
It's funny you say that because that kind of actually leads into my next question. And because something I was also thinking about with myself the other day is, you know, so my personal experience is that when I discovered, because I was writing other stuff, right? But when I discovered rap, and I mean, I've been listening to rap music since probably same age, maybe even younger than you. Um, I mean, I probably had easier access to it, um, because of because my parents were divorced and my dad didn't really give a shit, and so my brother would just play it whenever. when we were over at my dad's house. So I got like unlimited access to it when I was, but so something I was thinking about is when I found rap music, and this is something I thought about consciously in the moment. This is something I thought back on years later, is like, it really gave me a sense of like, I had kind of felt like small for a long time, and it kind of gave me like a feeling of like I can be bigger than, like I can, you know what I mean? Like I can grow into something bigger. I can. Did it feel like that for you? Was it like a sort of coming of age, coming into your kind of like manhood, like, oh shit, like I can fucking like grab hold of my balls and show these motherfuckers what's up, kind of like, you know what I mean? Was it that kind of shift for you?
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, yes and no, kind of, because like I said, it started out as poetry, but whenever I started writing to perform, to write, and to rap, then it was like, man, I got some shit to say, and I want to say it. So I did get a sense of, yeah, I want to, like, I'm gonna kick down that fucking door and I'm gonna tell you what's what type of deal. Yeah, it was a awakening in a way, because whenever you put your thoughts out on paper, dude, that shit gets real. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are, that is real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, you know, especially when you're at that age, like that is the ripe age for just making the stupidest mistakes, and also the ripest age for thinking you know fucking everything when you don't know shit. That is the ripe, and trust me, man, trust me, I'm a prime example of this. That is the prime age for doing stupid shit, because you think you know everything, and you think you can take on the world. And do you feel like your writing kind of helped you like hone that and keep it like more under control in a way, or what? So it's always been, I assume, and we've talked about this before on the regular show, that it's obviously always been a therapy for you, but did it give you some way to, some kind of some kind of like, oh, I can channel the chaos now, I can keep it contained or something?
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Sorry, my kids they're out in the background.
You're good.
But so like, hold on. You're talking about like whenever I'm writing, like the paper to page, it makes it easier to contain the self control?
Yeah, I mean, did it give you some sense? Okay, so all right, so I'll use a really like I'll use a really like crazy example. All right. So and like, okay, so like me personally, I've gone through a lot of shit in my life, a lot of traumas. Um and a lot of them have made me feel powerless, right? Um and and so a lot of stuff like that, um in people's childhoods, and you don't realize it, and this is something I've been thinking about too, is you don't realize it until later in life, how powerless you felt and how much that affected you. And so I guess my question is, did it give you some sense of like control, some sense of um now I have some way to keep it from spinning out of control, some parameters, some
Yeah,
boundaries
I
you
got
put
you. I
around it?
get you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, no, it definitely did, because I mean, I have quite a bit of trauma. I have quite a bit of trauma. It's led to a lot of mental issues I have today, right? So, uh, being at 13 years old was not easy. Being below 13 years old was not easy. Being 5 was real terrifying. Like, I've had a lot of different things happen to me to get me to this point where, yeah, I have felt like real powerless. Like, I won't put that out. I won't put that out there. But there has been moments where I have been able to take a situation that's going on bad behind me and just be drowned in my notebook. All right, because in the notebook I have all the power. and outside of me, I'm powerless. So yes, there has been moments where I've been on my notepad because what I'm writing down makes me feel like I have more power than the situation going on outside of me. I can't hear you, Dylan. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I was just saying that is the reason I asked that is because that was sort of my experience and my favorite thing about writing was it gave me some sort of some way to kind of make sense of the chaos and kind of put like some reins on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a fucking wild horse, and but like if I can get the reins on it, like, you know what I mean? I'm not very good at analogies tonight, but you get what I mean. So that's kind of why I asked that question, is because that to me is the best thing about writing for me and my craft is, the ability to sort of have that control where you don't have control other places. Um, so another question I had for you was who, and this could be because, and actually I want you to tell me why, whether it's because you relate to them as a person or just their style or whatever it is. But what are, let's say, let's we're doing a podcast. Let's do a list of five. There's something like five of your biggest influences. They don't even have to be musical. They don't even have to be musical. They don't even have to be hip hop. If they are musical, like you mentioned Johnny Cash before. Johnny Cash is a huge influence for me as well. But yeah, what are five of your biggest influences, and why?
Biggest influence, bro. Top tier, number one, all time. He's a god. You already know who I'm gonna say. Introducing
Juice
Juice
World.
World.
Yeah.
Juice World. Of course, always, any given moment, top of the list, number one. Don't care who you are, don't care what you say. R.I.P.
Kid,
Juice World.
kid is so, and
That
you
dude
know
saved
what?
my life so many times.
You've seen the interview where Eminem talks about him, right? I mean, a lot of people have talked about it, and nobody ever has anything bad to say about the kid. Nobody ever has any. Notice how nobody ever like nobody nobody had beef with him. Nobody's got anything bad to say about the kid. Because the kid was such like a pure soul. Like he was such a pure soul, and he got wrapped up in so much fucking darkness, and it's so fucking. But like, I love the interview that Eminem did about him, and like, cause he just like even Eminem is sitting there, and he's like, he was a master at that craft. To have mastered that so, I believe Eminem said, to have mastered that so young is beyond me. Like he was and I'm not just talking about freestyling, but people don't realize how much of a craft freestyling is. That man was like if you watch I'm sure you've seen the Westwood shit where he just raps for an hour long, just non fucking stop. He did that twice. The man was just almost every song that he put out was off the top of the dome. Like he went in the booth, fucking laid it. There are like multiple people have done interviews with that kid where they talk about him coming in the booth, laying a fucking verse, laying another verse, laying the chorus, and then that's it. We're done. And it goes out and it's a fucking smash hit. Smash hit. Yo, that I 100%, man.
Oh my god. I could go on all day about the dude. No, I didn't know Eminem did an interview about Juice WRLD, but I'm finna watch that shit. I did not know that. I haven't seen it.
It wasn't about Juice WRLD. It's his interview with King Crooked, where he mentions him. So yeah, just if you go type in Eminem King Crooked interview, and you'll find it.
Bet, because I gotta go see that. That's still cool. I didn't even know.
I mean,
Anyways.
or you could just look up if you just want to see the clip. If you just want to see the clip, just type in M talks about Juice WRLD, and it should come up. And if you like King Crooked, you know what he looks like? Big black dude with a big huge beard and a beanie on. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
sitting across from that guy in a studio, and that's the clip you want to look for. And yeah, definitely go check out that clip because he like to be acknowledged and to be acknowledged by such a fucking like and whether you want to debate this or not, Eminem is undoubtedly one of the best. Whether he is the best or not, he is you can't deny that he is one of the best because just based on pure numbers and just I mean, like you know what I mean? You can't sit there and make an argument that he's not one of the best just because he's made himself so undeniable and he doesn't fucking M doesn't give almost never does M give props to anybody unless they're in his camp. Like he gives props to 50 and like fucking West Side Boogie and Dre and fucking he gives props to the guys in Shady, but rarely does M ever give props to anybody outside his camp. There's like a handful of times he's done it. Like fucking Rihanna is one of the few people that he's like, and they're most of them have been females too. And almost none of them have been rappers. M rarely ever goes out of his way to speak about another hip hop artist that's not in his camp. And that just goes to show you like how much of an impact Juice WRLD made. So yeah, you already know, bro. That's definitely one of mine too. And it's crazy though because I didn't even get in. How long? We got to get to the other 4 people on your list, but how long have you been listening to Juice WRLD?
Hold on, baby. Hold on. When did I get in? Okay, so I actually used to think he was trash. Okay, I actually used to think Juice WRLD was garbage. Okay, and then I had my bestest friend, brother, not by blood. Okay, but he said, "Dude, you gotta listen to Juice WRLD. You gotta." And I kept telling him, "No, dude, he's trash." Because the only song I ever heard from him was "Lucid Dreams." Okay, and then I heard that even Juice WRLD. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with it now that I know who the guy is.
It was just like, overplayed, yeah. It was overplayed.
Then Juice WRLD even said he hated that song. So I'm like, well, dude, the dude's gonna hate his own song. He ain't worth shit. So I was like, I ain't gonna listen to this guy. And then we're fucking getting high in the living room because I just got kicked out of my girlfriend's house in the freezing rain. Said, here's a big old couch, and that's where I stayed. And so I go in there and I'm sitting down, and he's got Titanic playing in the background. Okay, and I'm like, oh my god. This fucking hits right now. Okay, and then the next song that came on was Robbery, and I'm like, oh, so he's spitting bars too, huh? And then he played fucking Nuketown by Ski Mask, and I'm like, this guy he's goated. Like I can't fucking do nothing.
I don't think I've heard that one. I don't think I've heard that one. Obviously I've heard Robbery, and wait, what was the other one? Titanic. Yeah. Okay, so I got into Juice WRLD with that album. That's the album I got into Juice WRLD with as well. I believe it's Legends Never Die. Is it's the purple album with him on the front cover? Okay, and is it what is it? Legends Never Die? Or is that the new one?
It's Never Die. It's not that one. I know what you're talking about. It's like the purple one with the flowers and shit.
Yeah, hold up. It came out right after he passed. It is called it's called Legends Never Die. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking of Death Race for Love. No, I got you. I'm thinking of Death Race for Love. I was like,
oh my god, Now when I went back and listened to his albums, like, and here's the thing, I wasn't okay. So I've never been into fucking like gangster rap, like even dude. And y'all, don't fucking shoot me. People are gonna fucking come after me for this. But I'm honestly wasn't even really a big 50 Cent fan for a long time. I honestly not even like, and don't get me wrong, I love 50 Cent, but he is not in my top 5. Probably not in my top 10 either. I'm sorry. I love 50 Cent. But like, I don't know. that kind of just like
Careful, he's gonna shoot you. You better. You bet. No, I'm kidding. But
no,
I agree with that.
yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I don't want to piss off 50 Cent. Let me get this very straight. 50 Cent is probably one of the toughest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. Okay? This man got shot 8 fucking times. This man came back from the fucking dead after getting fucking a clip emptied into him. I mean, one of the strongest, most resilient, badass motherfuckers on the face of the earth. And I love his don't get me wrong, I love his music. But I was never into club music. I was never into club music. It's why I never got into Drake. It's why I never, and I'm not going to keep just naming artists because they're all going to come after me now. No, but no, it's just like I was never into club music and then when I started to see like Tekashi 6ix9ine and all these fucking mumble rappers, I just thought the Juice WRLD was another one of them. And I feel, and in retrospect, I was a complete fucking idiot for lumping him in that category, for throwing him in that category. But you see how with the dreads, the face tattoos, talking about drinking lean all the time, where to the outside, until you take a closer look at Juice WRLD, to the outside at first, he might appear to be just another one of those mumble rappers. And so that's what I thought for a long fucking time too, bro. And it was actually my best friend in the world. Shout out my boy Devin, and his new little girl who's like 3 months old now. Dude, he's dad powering it up right now. But my man Devin, dude, he wasn't. It's funny thing because he wasn't into Eminem and I wasn't into Juice WRLD, and we kind of got each other into him. But yeah, it was just like for me, it felt like gangster rap, and it felt like just mumble trap, what I call trap rap at the time. And it took me a while to like see that there was so much more to him and how fucking talented he was. But yeah, definitely one of the fucking biggest influence on the world. Anyway, I did want a list of 5. There are four more people on this list.
All right, look, I'm gonna run through them. Otherwise, we're gonna get caught up in every single one.
Yeah.
All right, ready? All right. Green Day, Jelly Roll, Johnny Cash, and oh fuck, what's his name? Oh no.
Well, if you can't remember his name, was he really that much of an impact?
It was when I was a kid, so it was something stupid. I think it was like B.O.B.
Oh man, yeah. I know B.O.B. Bro. Yo,
like,
shout out to everybody who fucking listened to B.O.B. back in the day. Fucking Airplane. Most people, if you don't know B.O.B., will know Airplane.
sure.
Airplanes and the nice guy. Like, yeah, most people at least know that song. That's B.O.B.
No, I don't
The
think
guy who raps in that song. He's dope. He's dope. and especially, I haven't listened to much of his. Honestly, like when I find an artist, like I'll like go and listen to their like full album. I haven't listened to any of his like full albums, but I definitely bumped some B.O.B. back in the day. I haven't heard anything.
But Green
that's
Day.
one hell of a list, though. That's one hell of a list.
Probably unexpected too, but Green Day, okay, they're fucking. They're just spot on with it. That, or you know what? Let me replace B.O.B. because I remembered who it actually was. 21 Pilots. Okay, that's who I was trying to.
Oh man, you struck a chord there. They are like one of the best fucking bands of our generation. Like I don't think people quite understand how good 21 Pilots are. Those guys, and especially I can't remember the fucking I can't remember the lead singer's name now. But no, those guys are so fucking beyond fucking talented. I mean, the okay, so the way that they mix like rock and reggae with rap is just like I don't understand how, because it's undeniably like has like a lot of their songs are very like reggae. You hear a lot of those like percussion and instrumental like things that you would hear in reggae um worked into their rock melodies, and it's so seamless. And then he comes over the track rapping over this like fucking and in particular, I think one that was coming to mind was Stressed Out. And how stressed out is that, how that kind of like I don't even know, like I don't know how to describe it besides like reggae, that like it's like you would hear it in like a video game or in like reggae music, like and the way they work it in with the fucking I don't know. 21 Pilots is a different fucking breed. They are so unique, dude. So unique and unlike anyone. That is a good fucking list, man, because those are some goats. Those are like and one thing I do want to point out is how much variety you have in that list, because I think there's something to being immersed in different forms, and that's kind of why I run my show like I do with all different kinds of artists. Is because I think there's something to being immersed in different art forms and from absorbing different different, because I feel like as human beings, we're all trying to express the same collection of emotions: love, anger, sadness, disgust, happiness, right? We all have the same base emotions. It's our experiences that differ. So therefore the way we express them is going to differ as well. And so I love, as an artist, and I think that it's like the most healthy way um to be an artist is to absorb from all different things. And I grew up listening, like my mom listened to country, my dad listened to rock, my brother listened to rap, and then I was like reading fucking fantasy novels and shit like that. So I really just took from everything. And I really think that makes you a better artist when you I in my experience, the people that I know who are like, oh, I listen to pretty much or like when you ask them what type of music do they listen to or what kind of movies do they watch or whatever, right? They're kind of like, oh, a little bit of everything. Those people tend to have more of a out of the box kind of thinking, tend to be more and you, man, you are one of the most out of the box people I've ever fucking had the pleasure of knowing. You The way your brain works is I imagine it like a spider web. Um and I think that it's come from allowing yourself, partly, I mean, from allowing yourself to be exposed and to absorb everything. Um when you talk about that a little bit, do you think that is um do you think that being sort of a sponge has made you more creative and it fueled your passion, made you better able to create things, influence certain things that you have created, so on and so forth?
Yeah, because look, so because the variety is good, right? Because if I don't have variety and I'm always listening to the same thing, like how a lot of people probably do, whether they listen to the same artist, it makes it all like confining, right? So being able to be a sponge, to be able to explore different options or be open to new options or be open to, like, I'd listen to K-pop if it was good type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't personally like kind of music like that, but there's people that will only listen to K-pop, and those kind of people don't seem to be so open to other things because they're so used to that one type of instrumental or that one type of audio or the way that it was played. So being able to soak in everything else around me, like it doesn't matter what it is. If it's good music, it's good music. There's no denying it. Just
Is
because the
K-pop
artist,
okay? I'm sorry. What is K-pop? Is K-pop like that? You know that new like that Asian girl that's got that like hit song on TikTok that's like "Meet me at the appa dappa dappa da" or whatever the fuck. Is that K-pop? Is that what that is?
like it's just Japanese type music. Okay, it's just like this. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't listen to it. I
Because I've
tried to listen.
heard people say K-pop, and I've never like I don't know if I've ever heard it because I don't know what it really is. If anybody has like a good description of what exactly K-pop is, drop it in the comments. Well, I'm interested to see if anybody who watches this show listens to K-pop and can tell me a better definition for it.
It's girlfriend said it's Korean pop.
Oh, is that what it stands for? That's
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense to me. To be, oh yeah, it was a real head slap.
that's kind of like a facepalm moment. That's kind of a facepalm moment. Wow. We right over our heads. Just not even Korean pop. Well, I mean, yeah, I that makes sense why I think of Asian people when and that's not being racist because that's a continent, people. Don't come after me. Don't come after me. It's a continent. Korea is in Asia. I am not correct. That's geographically correct. Now, all right, let's get off. Let's get off of this. Let's move on.
Get yourself in trouble, Dylan. I'm just gonna watch it happen.
I got more questions for you. All right. Let's see here. All right. This is kind of another two-part question. In let's say 10 words or less, what just a sentence, in one sentence, how would you describe your writing and rapping style? And then the second part of the question is what sets that style apart from anyone else who does it?
I'll write with rubied ink till my hands are bloodied pink and purple. Okay. I will put my hand to this page and I will try until I can't no more. And even then, my ink will pose as blood. I mean, my blood will pose as ink. Fuck. I was almost cool for 5 seconds. You hear it?
You were like, I was like, dude, what? Did Shakespeare just possess this man? He was saying something. No, no, continue though, because you were saying something.
Well, I mean, that's just it. I was like, I literally would put everything that I possibly can think of onto a piece of paper, no matter what emotion, no matter how uncensored it is, no matter how unfiltered. And what makes me unique about that is, even if I became rich and famous, I don't know who in this world is going to stop or silence me. Okay, like how they would with other people. And everybody has said that, every big artist, but in some shape, way, or form, they've been censored. Okay. Eminem is kind of an exception. We don't count that guy. And nowadays it is a bit more free. So it's not as of a unique topic. But my whole option is I won't give up no matter what happens to me. Right? I could be battered, bloodied, bruised. It doesn't matter. Whatever emotion that I'm feeling that caused me to be bloodied, battered, and bruised is going to go on paper. Whether it's a diss track, I will own a motherfucker if I got to type shit. I don't know. I guess it's not really unique. It's just the way I want to describe it is I'm different because I'm schizophrenic. You're not. Okay. So my ambition compared to your ambition most likely is a better ambition. Now that's not what it came out wrong, but what I meant by that is like it is a lot harder for me to do what everybody else is doing. And that doesn't make
more I kind of get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because you have. Okay, so let me. If I get your meaning, you have a steeper hill to climb, so therefore you're more motivated than anyone else is to climb your hill because you have to work twice as hard at it. Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I feel I really, and I think a lot of people are honestly going to resonate with that. Like, it is really going to feel it and know what you mean, because like, and I feel like we all feel that way at certain points too, but for you, it really seems like you take. I mean, like you were saying, you bleed onto the page. It's everything. You know, it is not something you're doing. It is what and who you are, and you make that very evident in every single line that you write. Is that it is a full expression of all parts of yourself, and it just so happens that you and that's and here's the thing here, and I was thinking about this the other day. And I have a theory about schizophrenia. I am by no means a psychologist at all. This is just me being stoned at fucking 2 a.m. just thinking my thoughts. But I was thinking, I feel like, because I was about to say you have more parts to you, but that is not true because my theory that I was thinking about the other night is that we are all schizophrenic, or at least have the potential to be. And you know how I've compared you to a fractured mirror before? Well, with a fractured mirror, all those pieces are still there. It's still the mirror. And I feel like everybody has just as many different personalities. I mean, you should see my girlfriend when she's hungry or doesn't have her coffee. We all have our personalities. You see what I mean? Like, and the me that's talking to you right now is not the me that tweaks the fuck out when someone steals money from me or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like we all you have schizophrenia, and I feel like that's not, people look at it as a disadvantage, whereas it is an advantage because a lot of people, though they have all their personalities, don't fucking admit it and don't take time to explore each one individually, and can't see each one clearly. And I feel like that's what sets you apart. And correct me if I'm mistaken, but I feel like we were talking about before, because you have all these fractured pieces, it takes you more effort to see the full image. You have to work harder at it, but as a result, you're able to see it more clearly than anyone else. And I feel like, and I'm gonna have to talk to Neela too, because I know she's someone who struggles, or I don't know if she struggles with it or she just lives with it, I should say. Yeah, she is someone who lives with schizophrenia as well, and I'll have to see what she thinks. But what do you think about that theory that we all have multiple personalities? We're just not very good at seeing them and identifying them as people with schizophrenia.
That's a really cool perspective because and it opens it up for a good example that I can make. Okay, so your inner monologue, mine is disembodied. Does that make sense? So your inner,
mine's coming from right here, yours is over here.
Kind of. So whenever you're talking in your head right now, making your vile ass opinions about me right now, no, I'm just, but that thought that's in your head just now when I said that, okay, you can hear that physically, right, inside of your brain.
Right.
That thought and throw it outside of yourself. And then change that voice to 3 different people. All right, and then take those 3 voices and insert a random one into your brain. That's me on a day. Throw that voice out, pick a different voice, and put it back in your head. That's me again. You know what I'm saying? But
Bro,
that's a different version of me.
you need. I don't know, and I don't know if you've ever watched it, but you need to go watch Dexter, and you need to watch Dexter like not with friends. You need to watch Dexter like when you're alone by yourself. And I don't know what it is. It's definitely the writing and the content of the story itself, but it is also the voiceover. So if you I don't know if you've seen Dexter or know about it, but it is about a serial killer who kills other serial killers. On paper, cool idea. What makes it one of the best shows of all time isn't the action or the drama or the psychological mind fuck of, is he right? Is he wrong? Is he a sick fuck for killing people and chopping them up? Or is he a hero for killing bad guys? That whole thing. That's not even what makes it the best show. What makes it one of the best shows ever is the actor, Michael C. Hall, does a voiceover. And for Dexter's internal thoughts the entire time, because Dexter is someone who during the day he is classic suburban white dude, happy go lucky. He's like worked for forensics for the cops or whatever. But he keeps this mask up all the time, and that's something that I know that all of us relate to, or at least a lot of us relate to, is kind of putting on a mask. But the way this show explores it, and the way they write and the voiceovers are performed, it's weird, man. It takes you into such a, like, for me at least, takes you into such a weird psychological place, and like it is one of the shows that I've like, and it's weird to say that like you connect with a serial killer, right? But the way they have written and performed the show, and it says a lot about not just the writers but Michael C. Hall in general, and the voiceovers, because it's like every time, like, so for an example, just he's like, oh, I gotta go, and then the voiceover will say kill someone, and then he'll be like, oh, pick up a like carton of milk or something at the store, but the whole show is layered with this voiceover and it's Dexter's internal monologue. And then there's also scenes where he sees his dead father, and his dead father kind of like gives him advice and like talks him through things, but and he knows like his father will be commenting on things, like he'll be like, what are you just gonna sit there and fucking chastise me? And his father, who's not real, he's just imagining him, will be like, it's not me who's chastising you. And he's kind of pointing out like that his inner monologue is chastising himself, and that he's self-aware of it. And I'm not doing it justice by describing it, but you would very much, I think, relate to the character a lot, and I think you would like the show a lot. Definitely one of the top 5 shows of all time, in my opinion. You have to go check it out. Definitely go check out Dexter, man. Just what you described reminded me of that so much, in the way, like, I don't know, there's nobody else, no writer has ever been able to capture that feeling of like what you were talking about, that inner monologue feeling, that, like, you know what I mean? It's such a unique thing that they did with that show. You definitely have to go check that out. And I've also been watching it a lot lately, and something that it also kind of makes you think about is like nature versus nurture, and how the things that happen to us as a kid directly affect who we turn into. as adults, which is a big, like one of the almost the biggest themes in Dexter, is because he wasn't always a sociopath. He saw his mother get chopped up as a baby and sat in a pool of her blood for like 2 days in a dark shipping container. Um, and with like literally his mother's body parts, and like it broke something in him. And my theory, or that's what the show says, is that it broke something in him. But my theory is that it's not broken. It is literally, we had to have that we had to have that part of ourselves to survive like woolly mammoths and shit. You know what I mean? And like saber-toothed tigers and shit. We had to have that animalistic, like, and what it did was it saved him, right? And there's you gotta go check it out. But like, it really, dude, that show makes you think so much about like what the things your brain does to protect you from losing your shit. You know what I mean? Like, when you think back on some of the things you've been through, and I'm sure you feel the same way, do you sometimes feel like, how has that not driven me like absolutely loopy, right? And how how am I not a fucking vegetable?
Is that a question? I need you to repeat it real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't. It cut out.
I was wondering if you feel like when you look back on some of your experiences, you kind of feel like you kind of wonder how you haven't gone insane, or how you have like how you've been able to like how your brain has physically been able to handle that much pressure.
Dylan, I'm offended. I have. I've gone insane. Been through that stage. I've done passed it and overcame it. I've been institutionalized before. I have been insane. I had to overcome madness, chaos. I had to get over killing myself a few times. Like I have succumbed to it, but the whole point is to come back, right? Like I have a bunch of lines. You hear it all the time in my music talking about buildings and resets and the buildings getting destroyed and having to rebuild them stronger, and the city, it's hard to keep a city civil. Like I want to be in a place where I can place my feet in the crest and understand where I stand, okay? Type shit. Like I be having to go through all that to get that mindset to know where I stand in my own city is a very difficult thing to get over, because it is hard to keep a city civil, and all those are analogies to my brain. And I say city, all right, because it has a population. And because as a population, I have to make buildings and I have to secure a condition that's absurd to begin with. Like that's also a line that I have. Like it's all everything it's all just connected. You know what I'm saying? It's all just this story. It's this big city in my brain. Like I'm building a story of how my brain works in all of my music. Now I'm thinking about it, like that's just a self-discovery moment, to be honest, right there. Is like all my music really just describes how I'm building what's in my brain.
I love how you just described that, man. I really like, you could not have found better words to put that into and describe that. Um and I really think that like you are such an introspective person, and are so able to look within and find the going with your metaphor, find the structural weaknesses, you know. And I think that's kind of going back to what I said before is, a lot of people, most people nowadays are too busy looking outward, right? We just lost TikTok and the whole world freaked the fuck out. The whole world tweaked the fuck out because we lost TikTok for what? 24 hours, people? It's okay. It's all right. But we're too focused outward, and you are someone who is so focused inward that it it speaks volume, and it show like you can see the masterpiece of the city that you're building in or at least I can. And maybe it's because I've seen so much of your work and been there to witness like a lot of your growth and artistically where you've gone with that story. But you are one of the like best people I know for like if I need someone who's going to make me think about myself, you're definitely one of the first people I'm going to talk to, right? Because you are such an introspective person and you are so able to look within and, like I said, find all those structural weaknesses. And I don't know if you realize it or not, but in doing so, you help me and a lot of other people find their own structural weaknesses and look within themselves. And, you know, I know that your music is a form of discovery for you. But do you ever stop to think about how your music is affecting other people and what certain lines might affect certain people certain ways, or do you just let it all flow and whatever?
I I have a lot of in my music. I would love to know what other people like could take from my music, right? Like it would be cool to know that my music is helping somebody or help them see a new perspective or help them in any shape. Like it doesn't even matter how. It could literally just get them through their day, just be bopping in their car type stuff. And that like people don't want to admit it, but when you're casually listening to that music in the car, it's something that will make you think. You'll remember it one day and you're like, oh shit, or at least for me, anyways. So I mean, that would be pretty cool. I have this. I like to put shit into my music. Like silence is a lot to say. Just listen, and then I'll be quiet before I start the next verse. Right, in that moment of that silence. All right, whenever I say silence, it makes a person think in that moment of silence in their head. All that chaos is going on. Like what's coming next? What's gonna happen? This, that, etc., etc. And I say it's coils or something about like being under a submission. Okay, I can't remember it off the top of my head now, but it's that the silence is a submission hold, right? When you are quiet, nothing happens. It has you in a hold. So
Mm.
it's like to a lot of people, you couldn't relate unless that was pointed out to you, right? Like in that moment of silence.
I
I
love
don't know.
that, dude. Silence is a submission hold. God damn. I'm gonna remember that one. You're dropping these fucking like these gold nuggets today, dude. You were just dropping gold, man. I can't even find better words to say that. That is fucking amazing. That is, yeah. And that's
Well,
what
I
I
have a
mean, man.
see. Look, before we get off of here, you should let me do that song. You should let me
Yeah,
do.
no, absolutely, absolutely. I was gonna have you do a song or two for us at the end if you wanted to.
Okay,
Um,
set it up. That's
but
fine.
yeah, I
That's
mean, I
fine.
guess uh, really the last question. Um, well, I kind of had two more questions written down here, but one of them was kind of what I already asked you. I guess I'll just sort of um what I had written was how do you balance being your authentic self with appealing to an audience?
Um, I I don't. I don't have balance. There is no balance. It's just me being whoever I am in the moment, right? I can't find a balance to appeal an audience, right? I just have to find an audience. Anybody willing to listen to a specific audience,
Mm.
okay. I don't have that luxury. So I I can who I appeal to, okay, is whichever personality wrote the song. And whatever song that appeals to, that's my audience. So
Oof. Dude, man, I really love that because I was absolutely gonna say to me to me the best way to go about that is you don't write songs to appeal to an audience. You find an audience that appeals to the songs that you're writing. I love that, dude. That is so elegantly phrased, and you are just on your fucking game with like the phrasing of shit tonight. Like, I could not have said that better. That is fucking amazing, dude. Yeah, that's 100% true. And I think that that's the like the cultural difference between like us and, for example, K-pop. And I'm not like dissing K-pop, but K-pop is written to appeal to an audience rather than the other way around. And I think I think that's what I connect with. I think you like nailed it right on the fucking head, dude. Because like when it comes to me, like going back to the conversation about like influences and people we listen to, for me, I don't listen to an artist unless they're now that I think about it, like all the artists I listen to pretty much write that way. Like they don't write to appeal to an audience. They write for they find the audience that appeals to the songs that they're writing. Like fucking, I mean, Eminem is even the biggest fucking example of that. Like he didn't give a, you see, on the I think it was the Marshall Mathers LP, right? Or the Slim Shady LP. He walked into, it's a skit, but he walked into Steve Byrne's office and he's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" He's like, "What's the problem, man?" He's like, and Steve Byrne goes, "I can't sell this shit. You know why Dre's album was so successful? Because he's rapping about blunts, 40s, and bitches. You're rapping about homosexuals and Vicodin. I can't sell this shit. Either change the CD or it's not coming out." And then the track kicks in and you hear "The Way I Am." This song's for anybody. Yo, shut up and just shut up and listen. And that's where that song came from, is the label telling him essentially change the album or it's not coming out. And that's where the song "I Am Whatever You Say I Am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am?" Right? And it's literally, but he found the Slim Shady in all of us. I guess there's a Slim. He says it at the end of, you know, the real Slim Shady. I guess there's a Slim Shady in all of us, right? It's fuck it. Why don't we all stand up? And that's really the key, is because, like I said at the very beginning, we're all trying to connect to the same group of emotions: anger, happiness, love, fear, anxiety, whatever. And it's about tapping into those emotions and finding someone who connects with the emotion that you're trying to express and how you're trying to express it. And I think that's what's not to like toot my own horn or anything, but like so great about this community in general. It's not really tooting my own horn, it's like all y'all's horns, which doesn't sound right now that I say it. I'm not tooting anybody's horn. I'm in a great committed relationship. And I also don't swing that way. But what I was saying is, this is, like, to me, the greatest community in the world, is because no matter what it is, whether it's books or rap or poetry or whatever, we find some way to connect. And it's because we are finding the people that connect to our art and saying fuck you to the ones who, what you don't like it, don't listen. Don't understand it, don't listen. If it's not for you, don't listen to it. And that's not a diss on anyone. And that's just simply, if it's not for you, don't listen to it, because I'm making it for the people who it is for, who connect to it. And that's, yeah, man, that's fucking the that is like the way to end it too. That is the perfect fucking question to go out on, because that's like the essence of writing or creating art for me. So yeah, before we get out of here, I'll let you do some pieces. I don't have any titles up here for you or anything, but I can type them in if you want to tell me what you would want to do.
I'll do it myself. I can say it. Let me pull it up. Is that it? All right. Ready?
Yeah. What's this one called?
Violence.
Violence. All right, man. I'll let you do.
Piece by piece by piece. Rips by slits by me. Felt fueled real by meals, forget that. Soak pale tears, create false peers. Create searing pain once drops fall into cuts. You know that pain isn't pleasant. Silence is a lot to say, just listen. See, now you understand its submission, like its coils, reptilian scales, and concealment. Why reveal its resentment if you already get trapped in this veil of sound? If you don't understand the complacement, then you can't understand my commitments that I Plunder cruel vanity. My accessories are necessities. What makes me is my consistency. Like Tourette's, ticks stick and lick wounds till red fills and they bred cynical beings. Poetry at its finest find the meaning. If you're honest, you'll find the liars hiding behind acidic smiles, feeding your ear every sneer directed at you. Leer back and see the false advertisement. My advice? I'd say, tie your thoughts to a balloon till you reach scent. Once it pops, a liar is bound to be found. Their sounds of defiance to justify vile manners would simply be lost in the air. So tear blank wounds and rank my tank as it blows knives met for incision. Those deep cuts into that life I've been missing. Surgery emergent. Stitches to voodoo like witchcraft. You don't know what I could do to you. I could rip limbs and so your mouth's just silence. Did you feel that submission? You would understand if you couldn't speak. Oh wait, you can't. You won't understand if you're able to look at yourself and be proud of that reflection in the mirror. You couldn't understand if you understand your direction, but I'm lost in affection. My path lost to the message, but you still don't understand the message. The passage I left open, broken till I can clear the landfill, but still be broken with a fixed door. I asphyxiate histamines to expel demons I used to think were great, and now I piss the fiends off and that scene changed. Locked in a cage, who knows which one is putting words to the page. Rage toward the subliminal taze, that forced eyes locked in place at a scream. They don't know life and its meaning. It's meant for viewers to die with or without reason because it doesn't give a fuck to cause treason. It's not there for your appeasement. So look at your recent hours and tell me if you can feel it as time seeps it. See, I breathe the oxygen I meant to breathe, but it's toxic. Don't look in my eyes and tell me you don't see it. That I felt the pain of the insane when I crane my neck to look crooked. Cause when it's straight, it seems life is a debt to repay and I'm late for the payments. There's hell in my head. I could paint it. Red to orange with black mysterious figures with wings and furious. So if you're curious, don't ask. I won't spill a life you don't care about. And if you tell me you do, then they're the liars I talked about. The fire in my soul is what I sing about. If you can't understand, then you can't figure me out. You can't linger around and catch Easter eggs like I'm some kind of fucking achievement. If you catch me vent, then you was meant to fucking hear it. Don't take it for granted. When I rap in a manic stutter of other words I can't seem to go places, so I just go and go until I could correctly place it. And mutter hidden words till your brain becomes color segmented, demonically abbreviated and fixed to the pentagram. Kage C in the making. Fade dreams that I'll make it. Trade my life into words on paper to confirm that once I sign, I'll blow minds is equal to mine. Ah.
Ooh. Oof.
Ah.
So I don't think I've heard that one before. Is that new?
You have heard it before. I've just edited the show. I edited it today to do.
Because the second thing I was gonna say is if it is new, there are some because there's like lines that I recognize in it. That might be because I've heard it before, and then it might also be because, as you have said before, all of your stuff kind of connects and you kind of drop. And that's something, man, I love about your shit is that you drop like Easter eggs of like all your shit, and it's like you going back to like the city metaphor. It's kind of like just familiar architecture everywhere. You're like, oh yeah, the same guy built that. It's definitely like because you know, like when you walk down like a street where there's all like, oh yeah, same company built all these houses. You can tell. Sorry, you were cutting out. What?
I said the fact that you noticed that one specific detail right there about my music, that one about like that same guy built it type shit. Okay, that's crazy that you've listened so much that you've noticed that.
Yeah, I mean it has a very, and it's not even about just the distinct voice of it, the flow and the cadences that you use, because you are one of the most when it comes to flow and cadence, you are one of the most unpredictable motherfuckers I know, and it's sometimes astonishing, sometimes mad fucking irritating. You have no idea, bro. Trying to break down your shit and trying to like especially when I'm writing shit with you and like trying to like, oh, well, he's like jumping fucking 6 different flow pockets all over the place. I'm sitting in this one flow pocket. It's our fucking verses are gonna sound too different. Like that's why I try to like when I write with you. I don't know if you've noticed, but like when we do like duets or shit like that together, is like I try to like my verses get much more complex and much more like. I try to broaden my fucking and that's good, man, because like you push me to be that way, but it's mad fucking irritating sometimes trying to like especially like when I'm hosting a show, I'm trying to break down your shit too, because for me, I don't know what it is, but it's easier for me to break something down when it stays in the same pocket or like doesn't have too many switch ups. But there is something so uniquely raw about your words and like it's not, like I said, it's not just the performance, it's not just the flow, just I can't even put my finger on it. It's like at the core of what you do, and it has so much raw personality. And every single motherfucking person I've spoken to you about, or spoken to about you, has said the same exact thing. He's just so emotional. He's so raw. He put like, and it is unbelievable how much of yourself you can really put in a piece, man. It is fucking. But yeah, I like I said, I'm struggling to find the words for it because I can't quite put my finger on it. But there's some unique raw quality that your shit has that I haven't heard from anything else ever. Like, and I mean ever, from anyone else. And I've listened to a lot of shit, man. Especially doing like this podcast and shit. But like, yeah, you have just something, some rawness to you that's just it's untamable and it's undeniable, man.
That's pretty cool to hear, to be honest. That gives me a big confidence boost. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool, and I'm glad I'm able to do that because whenever it's the heat of the moment. If you want to be 100% in the heat of the moment, whenever I am performing, to me, it sounds like I'm only doing one voice, and it sounds the exact same the entire time in my head. Okay, so whenever you're there saying that, like I can't. I physically in my brain cannot imagine what you're talking about. So I have to go back and listen to what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh my God, that didn't sound like that in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. I think I feel that sometimes. Like I feel like, and I'll have to go back and like, and it's cool because I have this, all of them uploaded to YouTube. I can just go back and watch them anytime. That's a cheap plug. But like when I'm performing and it's so hard for me to like. I really like okay, like for example, my Speaking to Demons piece. It's like they're very two different voices, and I have to really like. It's like almost like an acting job. Like I have to really like sell the role and like really get into like each fucking to really feel like I'm delivering it properly. So I do kind of understand what you mean by that. Like when you're speaking it out loud, it kind of sounds monotone. It kind of sounds like the same. Yeah, because you get used to your own voice, and but no, it's like I said, it's not even so much about the delivery or the cadence. There's something about how I don't know. There's something comes over you when you start to perform, and you kind of become a different person in a way. You almost look like like your expression. You ever seen like a picture of like Johnny Cash smoking a cigarette and in like a comfy chair? Like picture Johnny Cash smoking a cigarette in like a comfy chair, and there's like a smoke screen, and he's just like, yeah, like your expression looks like that. You know what I mean? Like your expression looks like Johnny Cash smoking a cigarette inside Folsom Prison. Like whenever you rap. That's what I mean. Like it has that like fucking just raw, grungy, fucking down to earth fucking quality, and really, and I love that you mentioned Johnny Cash as one of your influences earlier in the episode too, because Johnny Cash for me is one of those people that is just like has that thing that I'm trying to tap it, that I'm trying to describe with you, that I can't quite seem to put my finger on. something raw and untamed, and just like, I mean, the man went and performed in prisons, like back in the back when prisons were like really, really, really bad, and like just fit in with all these fucking convicts and shit, because there's something about his music that just makes you kind of accepting of the darker natures of life. That's what it is. This expression that you get on your face when you rap, this whole demeanor that comes over you, is one of acceptance and calm, and like the expression of a gangster right before he's about to put a bullet in someone's head. Or like, you ever seen Sons of Anarchy? Like, so on some Jax Teller shit, like that's the expression that comes on over you. Just this calm acceptance of the chaos, just knowing that there is chaos, and just this, when you rap, it's just this this calm sort of acceptance that comes over you, and it's like really unique. And I think that's what makes your shit so raw. Yeah, man, that's you got that dog in you. You're muted.
Oh damn! No, I was talking to myself. I didn't. I made a funny reference, but it ain't nothing like that. It's an inside joke for me.
All right, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine. It's because you said I had that. Oh, I'll go ahead. You said I had this dog. I mean, I was once called an alpha dog, but like, it wouldn't have made sense just out of context. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, I was just gonna say, man, like, I don't know why we haven't done a deep cut sooner. It seemed like you were like the obvious fucking. You should have been like the first. You were like the obvious choice for a deep cut, but I mean, I just want to say thank you for being like such a like big part of this whole fucking thing, man. I honestly don't. Sometimes I don't even fucking know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, or if I'm gonna, like, this past week, we didn't have an episode, and I kind of bummed out about that a little bit, but don't worry, we are on track to go back next week. But no, I just, like, sometimes, like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing with this show, and you just, or with my writing, or with like life in general, and like you give me like so much perspective on shit, and you make me think about things in such a different way. And it's not even you give me more perspective, it's that you give me different perspective, and that you're able to like make me see things from a different way. And like, you have made just my attitude, my writing, and my show so much better. So I just wanted to say thank you before we got out of here, man. That's honestly, thank you, because you make me see shit in a different way.
I just enjoy being on here. It's fun. It gives me something to do Saturdays. I'm not doing anything else besides playing the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I come on. It's cool to hear you come on. It's always cool to see what you're coming up with, because you be sending me bars. You know what I'm saying? You be sending me a whole lot of shit, and I'm like, damn, this dude is really doing it. And then I see you get on the podcast. You're doing your thing, and like, that's what I enjoy about coming on this show, is because your progression. And then when I see people I've seen on here before, right, when they come on here, I get to see their other work, and I can see that they're like the difference between whenever they were here first to now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've also been able to see that, and like, it's just cool. It's just cool to be able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, and that's like, for me, the most amazing thing about this is like, I get to, hold up. And I'm going to do it on it. This is the first time I've ever gotten out of my fucking seat on an episode. But you know how cool it is to be able to go on Amazon and buy books from people that I talk to on a regular basis? This is so, like, okay, this is fucking PR infidel Patricia, and then this is fucking Robert Foster. And I, like, dude, to be able to connect with people who are like on their own journeys and making like dude, I don't. It was weird because obviously I knew these books existed and I've been meaning to pick them up and buy them sooner. And there's actually more books of theirs that I plan to get too. But like there was something about when I got these physical copies of their books, like I felt I was like, wow, like I felt like it was more possible. Do you get what I mean? Like holding this in my hand and then being like, oh my God, I talk to these people. Like they're just regular ass people like me. You know what I mean? Like the amazingly talented people nonetheless, but like it made me feel like, holy shit, like I'm holding like almost my future, you know what I mean? Like a vision, like a glimpse of like what it could be, you know what I mean? And these are both like fictional authors. Now I do write fantasy and I might put out a book at some point, but I'm saying just in general, like the concept of like when I bought it and held it in my hand and just the concept of like, it's just crazy because like you don't ever talk to authors, right? That you never like you never get to talk to the authors of like that you're a fan of or that you read their, you know what I mean? But I do. I get to fucking talk to some of my favorite authors. That's like the coolest shit ever. And I get to talk to one of my favorite fucking rappers. Like that's the coolest shit ever. You know what I mean? Like I'm a genuine fan of your work. I'm a genuine fan of these people's work. And the fact that I get to talk to you guys like as a fan is just like the dopest thing ever. It really is. It really is. So thank you for fucking being part of this whole fucking journey with me, dude. This has been amazing. And literally, bro, every time I feel like fucking shit about the show or shit about like life and shit about like whatever the fuck it is, you're just like, nah, bro, like it's good. Like the show must go on. We'll hop on here. We'll do some shit. Like the other night, you even wanted to come on like last night on Saturday and just you and me. And I was just like, now you know what? We'll just record a deep cuts. But you were fucking game for it, bro. That's what I love about you is like every fucking time I need you or every time like I don't even know that I need you, but you're just like you're just there. You're just like, yeah, nah, bro, I got you. You're good. So thank you, man. A million times, fucking thank you.
Always and any time, and thank you, bro. Because I wouldn't even know what I'd be doing myself. Like I probably wouldn't have as much progress as I have now if I wasn't on your show. Like I wouldn't be able to, because when I first got on here, right, I didn't know how to perform. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know. I've always been to myself singing, right? So I get on here and I have to practice. I have to make it sound good. People are listening type deal, and I'm like, okay, I have to get better. I have to rewrite some of my stuff. It has to flow better. It has to be the way I want it. And it gave me that confidence in my work right there. Is like it has to be how now I want it, rather than like just I'm writing it down. And it makes me have to think about it. It gives me more structure being on.
You could do it, and you can see, and I've talked about this almost every time you come on the fucking show. You can see how much more structured you've gotten and more like just like dialed in. Like, and I think I've used that word before with you, just more dialed in. Just every like, and then you just turn the dial up and up and up, and you just like, man, your focus is impeccable. And I know because like we talk privately and we're friends in Messenger that you have a lot of shit going on in your personal life, and the fact that you're able to stay so dedicated and put much effort into your work and stay so laser focused on it with all the shit you got going on in your life. And fucking, I mean, I just fucking heard your kids we hear your kids all the time on the show. We've met a few of them. I met a couple of them backstage, but I think we've met a few of them on the live show, haven't we? And like you're literally half the time you've been on the show, you've been dadding while rapping. Like you've been like, yo, take your bottle and go over there for a minute so I can spit these bars real quick, and then I'll put on some cartoons for you. Like,
please.
Between the bottles and the cartoons, there's bars. You're like, I gotta find some time for fucking killing a beat while I'm wiping an ass and changing a diaper. Like I gotta. Oh man, yeah, dude, you're laser focused with your personal life and being a dad to multiple kids is fucking phenomenal and impeccable. And I don't know how the fuck you do it, bro. I really don't. I really don't know how.
I wish I could tell you the cheat code, dude, but there isn't one. I'd just be struggling. I just. But it's okay. It's okay because I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna be rich one day.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, now you're that kid. Now you're that kid. Hey, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you on the other side, motherfucker. Catch me outside. How about that?
I'm nowhere. Here I am.
yeah, man. Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you get out of here, but thank you for being on. Thank you for fucking recording this with me. I don't know if you want to just. I'm gonna end the recording, and if you want to chat for a few minutes after I end it, but thank you everybody for watching. This has been Deep Cuts number 8 with Kage C. Please subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna do it properly here. Please subscribe and follow us on all these platforms, including TikTok, because that just came back up. CapCut hasn't, though, so I don't know how the fuck I'm going to make you guys' flyers. I'm sorry. I'll figure something out. But in the meantime, please make sure you go follow us on all these platforms. We are live every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. And please go follow us on all the other platforms. And thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another episode of Deep Cuts. Peace out, guys.